Christmas
Merry
week.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Uh, Jingle bells, laughing all the way. I'm just thinking about all Christmas songs. Yeah. Wait, I can't hear
Dun, dun, dun. Email paid attention is back. It's Christmas week. We're gonna talk about marketing and all this stuff. We're gonna help you make money this week.
it.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Let's
All
go. What an
right.
intro.
Dude,
That's
that was
amazing.
great.
In the Christmas spirit, it's December 23rd. Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and it's gonna be a jolly old episode here. We
Wouldn't want it
got
to be any other way, baby.
100%. And yeah, I mean, we got a lot of crazy things. We by the way, so I guess just for a little back behind the scenes, Gavin and I pressed record and we started going into our ideas. All right, what are we going to talk about? I'm going to say this and that. And then before we know it, we're like having the actual
Yeah, we're having a
podcast
lot of things.
episode. Like we're already having it. And it's like, wait, we never did like an intro. People don't even know what they're about to hear. So it's like, all right, let's just
That's how
get
you
going into
know
it.
what you love, what you're talking about, though. You just go into
Exactly.
it. You just go into it. You got to be
Just go
obsessed.
into it and you can't stop. Yeah, once you're in
hmm
the flow, once you get in there, it's an automatic flow
hmm
and it's nonstop. So yeah, I
Love
mean,
it.
let's get into it. Let's all right, so it's Christmas week. You're telling me about going into an ornament store. What was that all about?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So what? Yeah, one thing we were talking about. I was texting Diego because, like, the way Diego and I think essentially is like we're always looking for ideas. Like we're always looking for ideas. We're always trying to pull from like what God is just throwing into our lives in that at that moment at that time. So we're just like we're always keeping our lens kind of open. We're always through like a marketing lens. Like how can I turn this into something? Or like whether
Hmm.
that's personal writing, like just for fun or a journal or whatever. It's just like
Hmm.
something for a client like we just
Hmm.
have notes. We have like a note list of like potential ideas. Like
Yeah,
literally, I always tell people like what like I use notes more than anything on my app. One time I actually woke up, I tweeted
seriously.
about this. I tweeted about this. I was bugging out because my notes app, like everything deleted in
Oh
my phone.
crap.
And I was like calling
What?
Apple. I was like, yo, this is like more important than the phone itself. Like I need my
Yeah.
notes app. But yeah, I
Yeah, that's
was
crazy. I spend a lot of time in there too. But yeah, get into
yeah,
that. Get
so
into that story. That's
yeah,
good.
so essentially it's like I'm out and about, usually the time when I'm like away from work is I'm spending with my girlfriend or just like completely unplugging, but I still have like it's just hard for me to get that kind of brain switch off. Like I'm always thinking of ways to segue.
Yeah.
So I'm in Newport, Rhode Island, and my girlfriend and I we're doing like a little bit of Christmas shopping, like
Hmm.
just love it. It's like Newport, Rhode Island, like freaking festive and winter and cold,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
That's
But
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, we walk into an ornament store and I honestly don't even know if the ornament store was there like year
Mhm.
round. Like I think it's just like one of those Halloween, like spirit
Just
Halloweens. They just pop up and then they disappear right after Christmas.
right.
But we walk in and like I immediately notice how the store's full of ornaments. The store is completely full of
Packed.
ornaments, and they're all super niche. Like it's all
Hmm.
like, there's a what was it? We were looking for oh, there's like a can of tomato soup. There's mac and cheese. There's a KFC bucket. And it's like on the other end, there's like all these sports players like Drake
Hmm.
May and like all these
Hmm.
football players. Like there's literally, if you walk in, it's
Everything.
impossible for someone to not find an ornament that they're really aligned with and is like
Hmm.
specially unique to them. So
Yeah.
like I pull up my phone and like Chloe, my girlfriend's looking at ornaments. She's like, Gavin, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm writing this down. I'm writing this down in my notes app. But essentially it's just like what they do so well is like they're captivating every single person that comes in because everyone's going to have their own ornament. So I think
Hmm.
back to an email lesson there. Like
Hmm.
how does that relate? How can that potentially relate? It's like when you lean into what your beliefs are, what your values are, what you talk about, what makes you unique. We were
Hmm.
just talking about this. I'm home. I'm kind of in the home office here that my dad and I use. Like he has all this stuff in here that just makes him like so niche and unique compared to every single
Hmm.
person. There's like all this jazz stuff. You can see it's like lean into that instead of shying away. That's what's going to bring in the customers more.
Hmm.
That's what's going to completely connect them with with
Yeah.
uh, with you and eventually make the sales. And I always love talking
Exactly.
about that in emails, whether it's for me or clients. It's just like hey, like tell me that really weird thing that makes you unique and like people could also relate with as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if
And
Diego has any
people,
thoughts to add on that, but like that was kind of where I was going right off the bat. And like this is essentially like where we're looking for and everyday life just like trying to pull from,
yeah,
those
exactly. Well,
scenarios.
I'll bring up a point from that is my wife too. Like I'm somewhere, something happens. We could be at the store, we could be in the drive-through getting a coffee. Something just a little bit out of the ordinary happens, and she immediately like looks at me, and you're like, "That's gonna be something you write in your notes or something, huh?" It's like, yeah, you already know. So it's like, yeah, 100%. It's just a nonstop kind of constant search for little stories or moments that could turn into something, and there's always a way. That's the beauty of when you get to understand that the everyday life situations can
Hmm.
always turn into something
Hmm.
it for your marketing, like an email, even an Instagram post, like it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
That's the awesome part about just having that now in our brains that doesn't allow us to even rest because we're even at the dinner table, you're just like having dinner. The kid, my one of my kids just spills spaghetti all over the place, and it's like, dang, that's a mess. A lot of businesses have a mess. It's like
Hmm.
there's always a
Yeah.
correlation. So, anyways, um, the ornaments thing I want to bring up too. I had the
Yeah,
story of
what's yours? What's your ornament thing that you
yeah,
pulled this week?
so yeah, so wait, was that the
Like what would no 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 like what was like what did you pull from your life this week is essentially what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say the story from the tradition that we're doing with ornaments. You just
Yeah,
reminded
yeah,
me of
yeah.
it.
This is funny.
Yeah. So Jade and I, my wife, we started this tradition when we moved out together that we're gonna every year during Christmas time go shopping for a new ornament, and it's gonna be something that just represents who we are or just something special about us. So exactly what you were saying, like if we had that store, we would have
Could have
walked in
found
there
one.
and we would
Yeah.
have found like that one thing that just stands out to us, and it
Hmm.
it would have been like, oh, that's perfect. And
Hmm.
so yeah, last year all I would talk about is buying a dirt bike, and I
Hmm.
was even riding in the motocross space a lot. So I that was the ornament that I got. And then
Hmm.
this year I did a lot more cycling. I got out my bike a lot more. Clients that I have are in the cycling space, and so it's just like natural.
Hmm.
Like I saw the bike, I'm like, oh, that's it right there. And so
Prediction, what is next year's gonna be?
next year's, oh man, let's see. I want to. Whew, I mean, I love the both spaces, the motocross and cycling
Hmm.
space. Maybe just this time it's gonna be crap. That's a good one. I have no idea.
Mine,
Maybe
I
a
think on my
basketball. I want to get into the
basketball.
basketball
Yeah,
niche.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
dude. I
basketball.
love that. I think for me,
What
I'm
about
going
yours?
with a book. Like I'm trying to
Hmm.
step into so much more reading this year. I think too, like
Yeah,
just for anyone like, if you're listening to this for general marketing advice and just writing advice and translating, effective messaging, I think like one of the best things you can do is read. And
read a book.
as writer, I don't read enough. Like I read, but I
Hmm.
don't read enough. Like I want to read like almost 2 or 3 books a week. Just
Yeah,
for
I wish
fun.
I had the
Not even like
time.
nonfiction stuff, but like just like fiction stuff that just like gets the
Yeah,
brain kind of
yeah.
stirring a little bit.
I know. I've
Um,
always I saw the Harry Potter books the other day. They were like in a collection. I was
mm,
like, dang, like that'd be juicy. There's just
yeah, dude.
they're this thick, dude.
You know what? I think
Imagine
I
how
have it.
much. There it is. Yeah. See, dude, like imagine how much stuff that is in there, and you can just
Goblet of Fire.
dive into it. Yeah,
I've
it's
actually never
amazing.
read these.
Yeah, I've watched the movies, but they don't. I don't think they hit as hard as the books say. But anyways.
Um, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
wasn't gonna tie in that concept with just the
yeah, yeah, go
ornaments.
for it.
It's just to prove and kind of emphasize on the points you were making already. It's
Mhm.
just like that's the little things that you should, as a business owner, be tapping into for sure. Like just find. I mean, you don't even have to try that hard. It's literally just being yourself.
Mhm.
You have all these things that you love, and just talk about them. Bring them
Yeah,
out,
just lean into
and
it.
just lean into it as hard as you can, and naturally, that's going to
Mhm.
stray away people that don't really resonate with you, and they
Mhm.
probably weren't going to be the best customer for you anyways.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, you're going to be pulling in people who may not have the same interest, but it's something similar, and that right there clicks, and it creates this
Mhm.
bond. And you are probably missing out on so many bonds that you can be creating with your potential customers or your current customers. So yeah, it's kind of like a little, you should definitely, a little push into that
Yeah.
direction is
The
go
best
into
thing
your little
about
quotes. Yeah.
Yeah, the best thing about that too is like when you're being yourself through your marketing and your messaging, you pull in the clients that you actually want to serve. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
get along with them
Oh
so
yeah.
much better than anyone you just like try to pull in from your niche but like don't really
Hmm.
align with. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, marketing's one thing, but you're going to be with that
Hmm.
client for, 4, 5, 6 months, who knows how
Hmm.
long, 6 years. Like you want
Yeah.
to make sure you and that person are aligned with the same thing. It's just like lean
Hmm.
into that messaging, what makes you unique. Not only you're going to pull in more people into your business, but you're also just going to have a much better time with the clients you're serving on a regular
100%.
basis. And in
Hmm.
result, that's just going to make you an overall happier person. So,
Yeah. All of this too, we could go into this like heavily the entire time,
mhm,
but that also just positions you as a leader because
mhm,
there's like a differentiation between an expert and a leader. The
mhm,
thing about experts is there's hundreds of them. There's
mhm,
an expert, there's marketing experts. We see them all the time in our space.
mhm.
There's the God, there's
So
experts for
many.
everything,
Mhm,
everything. So, anyways, there's experts and then there's leaders, and the
mhm.
lead, people follow the leaders. It doesn't matter if you're an expert. If you are somebody who leads and who shows up every day, like you're naturally going to become that leader. People are
Mhm.
going to look forward to hearing from you every day, and that's what's going to get you just a long-term customer, better success with your email. And I guess what you were saying there is like the success isn't so much that you're going to be, you know, pulling in, raking thousands and thousands of sales, but you're going to
Mhm.
be getting the right sales
Mhm.
and it's with the right customers. And it just, that's peace of mind right there. You
Mhm.
said that. So
Those customers are going to tell the other customers that are also aligned with what you're doing.
yeah,
Um,
which
but
is,
yeah.
which is what all, purple
Mhm.
cow. This is what we had
Yes,
here on our list too.
exactly. Exactly.
So what is a
So,
purple cow? Do you kind of want to give it
so when
a,
I first heard about Purple Cow, I'll
Mhm.
tell you my understanding of it originally, which is completely wrong. And I think
Mhm.
there's kind of like, the way I understood it, like there's value in that, and we can talk about that, but
Mhm.
there's more value in the actual true meaning behind Purple
Purple
Cow.
cow. Yeah.
So kind of the way I originally interpreted Purple Cow was just like standing out so crazy in your market that like people have no like they have to pay attention to you. Like
They have no other option. Yeah.
I think of someone like Kanye West, for example, like,
Hmm.
whether, he actually did that on purpose or it was all marketing tactics, like so many people
Hmm.
were tuning into that because it was just so out of the blue and just kind of like, what is this dude doing? So
Yeah.
that's what I
Walking around with
originally,
his wife.
yeah.
Just, yeah, that's crazy.
So I think that, and then now I think of like companies like Duolingo, and I think of companies
Mm.
like Liquid Death.
Hmm.
Like
Liquid, that's a good
they
one.
are like really good at just literally standing out in their market, like just by doing insane stuff. Like the Duolingo
Yeah.
bird, they did like they had like Duolingo birds running around New York City. I think of
Hmm.
Timothee Chalamet and how he's promoting his
Marty
movie now,
Supreme.
and literally all of his past movies. Like he's so good at like just standing out, and I think he
Hmm.
understands that. He's just like, I gotta give some people like to talk
Can't
about.
forget. Yeah. And they
Like
can't
he shows
forget.
up on Jimmy Fallon, he's got a bunch of ping pong balls behind him. He's like,
Yeah.
he's doing all this crazy stuff. Like they
He's
released
standing on
that Zoom, they
the
released the
Las
Zoom
Vegas.
call. They
That
released
too.
they released the Zoom call discussing the marketing strategy as the marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Like that is freaking genius. Like that is
Yeah.
stuff like Diego and I like literally like drool over doing. Like that's
It's
so
funny.
cool.
Yeah, because it's funny, it's entertaining. That's another lesson there too. It's just
Yep.
it's entertaining. Yeah,
Hmm.
I saw this morning he's like standing on top of the Las Vegas Sphere and just
I haven't even
shouting.
seen this yet.
No, it's funny. You got to pull that up. But he's just standing on top. He's like December, I don't know, it's 24th,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
release
or
date, December
25th.
24th, the movie or whatever. I don't know what he's
Hmm.
exactly saying. And it just zooms out and it's like you can start to see that it's like this orange sphere. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah. He's just shouting. But it's
I
funny
love
and
it.
it just stands out, people are gonna talk about that. And sure enough,
Yeah.
I saw right after I saw it from the first video I saw, there's
Hmm.
already like people on Instagram, taking that clip and like
Hmm.
saying something. There's already
Yeah,
thousands
putting it
of views on
everywhere.
it. And it's like
Hmm.
it's just gonna grow it. So
Hmm.
that was your first, that's how you thought
Yeah.
about this purple cow. It's marketing it's creating marketing that stands out.
Hmm.
But
That's what I originally thought it was in the movie.
hmm
Like using a movie as an analogy can be like a really good way to distinguish what actually Purple Cow is. So I thought it was
hmm
just standing out regardless. But
yeah.
Purple Cow actually is it means having a product so good that
hmm
people don't they have no choice but to tell everyone else around them.
Yeah.
So in a movie perspective,
I
like,
would even argue real quick is that the product is so good they
mhm.
almost don't want to tell someone because they don't
Yeah, they're
want someone
gatekeeping
else.
it, right?
They're
It's
gatekeeping it
like
because it's so
restaurants,
good.
right? They want to get
Yeah.
gatekeep the restaurants.
And then
Yeah.
they like doing like, hey, I put you on,
Oh,
I
yo,
put
I
you on
just put
that.
you on, dude. Everyone says
Yeah.
that. Oh, dude, let me put you on. Let me put
Let
you
me
on.
put you
Yeah,
exactly.
but in the movie analogy, right? It's like, nobody's seen the product of that movie yet. They have no choice but to stand out and promote that somewhat. But they know, the
hmm
director knows, Timothy Chalamet knows that the
hmm
product is so good that once people actually go to see it, if they can
hmm
just get people in the seat, then
Yeah,
everyone's just going to kind of be like, all right, this movie is freaking amazing. That's the
exactly.
purple cow right there. The product of the movie is the actual purple cow.
The
That's the purple
experience, you
cow.
sitting in the theater, you watching it, going through the feelings of the character, like all of
Mhm.
that right there is the purple cow. If you, they
How it
had
makes you
that,
feel.
yeah, how it makes you feel, if it
Hmm.
inspires you, like if you just come
Hmm.
out of the, I don't know exactly what the movie's about yet,
I
but
don't either, but I'm gonna go see
yeah,
it.
but I'm gonna go
I'm
see
gonna go
it,
see
which
it. Worked on me.
the
But
marketing worked on me, yeah,
from
for
like a
sure.
product standpoint, like we were talking about this before as we were just kind of like
hmm
running through, I think of like the Aura Ring, right? I think
Yep.
of the Aura Ring, the Whoop, like the whole wearable
hmm
movement that's going on now. Like what they so took advantage of that. Like I think of like the early 20s, around COVID, everyone's becoming
hmm
so much more health conscious and they're like, we're going to give you a
hmm
way to see what's going on in your body without doing blood work every single month. I think
Exactly.
that's even a product right now. Like the people can
Yeah.
do blood work every single month, but it's just like
hmm
that is such a great example of
hmm
a product that's so strong that just
hmm
kind of like took off out of nowhere. Like you don't really hear
Yeah.
about Aura Ring and Whoop's marketing. You hear about the
hmm
actual product. So I think of
Yeah.
them as kind of like purple cows.
Another
Um,
purple cow I can give an example is
yeah,
Google.
yeah,
Google totally revolutionized search engine. That was kind of their thing. They're not, and now they have all wides of, products and features and things and that
mhm,
they promote. But it's just one of those things. It's like you even thinking about the internet, it's like you
mhm,
instantly think Google. So
mhm,
it's like they're so good at, they deliver such a good product that it even just you start to think of it as its own thing. And I
mm,
think that's the power too. It's like if
yeah,
you can separate yourself completely from other people,
mhm,
that your product doesn't even, it's just its own category
mhm,
and it's like its own world.
mm.
Um, that's I think Purple Cow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like the person that may be listening to us, right? Like the business owner, small business owner, like it's
hmm
unlikely you're going to go out and create the next Aura Ring or the Whoop. Maybe you will, or
hmm
just like you have that insane Purple Cow product, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
you can't create that in your own market, Like you can distinguish
hmm
yourself on a smaller level. Also, this
hmm
this goes back to like just kind of niching down and tying into like
Yeah.
your audience and really becoming like that Purple Cow for that market, that one of one
hmm
person. I know Diego
100%.
can speak on this too. Like he works with a lot of clients that are really like one of one in their market, and
hmm
doing that alone is gonna like bring so much, you know,
Yeah.
it's just you're gonna see fruits from that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess just to not disclose too much information on, what they're doing, but one guy, yeah, he's the first guy to come into the space, and automatically, like everybody's looking and paying attention to him.
Hmm.
And yeah, he gets his customers, and they're all the customers that, the types of customers that he wants. And it's just a product that works. So people can keep on telling, he's
Hmm.
actually noticed that the customers that keep coming, or his best customers have always been the referrals. And
Hmm.
I guess, that just ties all the purple cow concept together is
Yeah.
it's just like having something so good that you can't rave about it, or people can't not rave about it. And
Yeah.
they're gonna tell all their friends. So yeah, that's kind of what I have on that one.
I love that. Um, yeah, kind of based off of that, let's go more into like I'm thinking like, oh, you know what? Actually, we were talking a little bit about football before this. Do you want to dive
Okay.
into, I
Okay.
pulled that random kind of story from the ornament, but you also had a
Yeah.
story similar that ties into emails. Like, and two,
Yeah.
like just kind of frame like this is how we think about writing emails. Like if you're a business owner, like this is how
Yeah.
you should think about writing your own emails. Like how can I
Hmm.
pull certain scenarios from my own life and relate
Yeah.
it back to your product? And I know you think it may be hard to relate it back to your product, service, or offer. It's
Yeah.
not. Like you
It's
just got to
not.
practice it. It's a skill at the end of the day. You can always
Yeah.
relate it back to whatever you're trying to sell. So this is how we think of
100%.
it. It's just like going out every single day, like what can I pull? What can I pull? What can I pull? What can I
Exactly.
pull?
And it's a
So
muscle. Yeah, it's a practice. And that's the hard part. At first, it's like,
mhm.
dude, there's no way that I can make this something.
Yeah.
But pretty much what happened last week, for all our, for I guess for my people that are listening and they're in the Washington State area,
Hmm.
there was a Seahawks game last week, and I was watching it on TV. I really wanted to tune in. It was the Seahawks versus the Rams.
Mm.
And I haven't really been following too much of the football scene, so I don't know 100% where they're at in the season. But I know
Hmm.
this was a big game, and I had friends and family that were at the game too, so that's why I even, that was like an extra layer that
Hmm.
motivated me to turn it on and tune into it. But anyways, I'm watching through, like the second half, and they were losing. I think they were just like it was like a turnover or something like
Hmm.
a uh, what is it? Clap. I'm just hitting
Pick
blank right
six?
here. It was like a pick. Yeah, it was a pick. And
Yeah.
so,
I have
anyways,
Seahawks D for fantasy football.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's a good
good.
one. Yeah, they're
They're
good.
good.
So anyways, I just shut the TV off. I'm like, all right, I can't watch this. I'm just gonna play with the kids.
Hmm.
And it turns out they had a massive comeback, and
Hmm.
it was crazy. And I had people, my friends and family that were posting about it. They were like, screaming on their Instagram or Snapchat stories, whatever it was. And I text them like, yo, dude, how was that? That was wild. I was in the morning the next day, I was watching YouTube highlights of the game and just the replay because I missed out on watching it live. But uh, and they all said the same thing, dude. The
Yeah.
atmosphere was insane. The
Hmm.
the energy and just like the suspense. And yeah, I was watching back to the replay, and they had like this wild 2-point conversion that kind of changed the whole
Hmm.
rest of the game. And so I just thought about that, like, dang, that's exactly what you want to be creating with your
Hmm.
entire content ecosystem. It's just like
Hmm.
this atmosphere that is something that they want to be a part of. It's like you come into it, you read an email from somebody, and it's like, let's go. Like, you're part of this atmosphere that's it's full of surprises, it's full of
Hmm.
fun, engaging, tips or content.
Hmm.
And most importantly, it keeps people on their toes. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's like you don't want to, when you go to a football game, you don't want to. I mean, the worst football games are the ones where there's like a complete blowout. Because it's
Hmm.
just boring. People are going to
Yeah.
start leaving early,
Hmm.
and it's like nothing really suspenseful. But when you have a game, and by game, it's more like when you have an email or when you have some idea that you want to present that
Hmm.
is new, or it's just like you don't really know where he's going with it, but this is really engaging.
Hmm.
That's really, keeping people on their toes, and it's just
Hmm.
like an element that keeps people coming back because they love
Hmm.
that. They love hearing new. So I think that's one of the strongest angles there. It's like being just bringing new ideas, bringing novelty to your emails, to your marketing.
Hmm.
That ties back into what Timothy's doing with his
Yeah.
Marty
Marty
Supreme
Supreme.
movie, and
Can't
it's
wait for
just
June
like,
3.
yeah. So yeah, that
I
that
also
was
think I also think too there in the, while you were talking, I had something come to mind from the
mhm,
football scenario. It's just like I don't want to say a fan base, but if you can build a group of people,
mhm,
if you like throughout your marketing, if you can build a group of people that agree with you, and there's like
mhm.
a common enemy, you know,
Yeah,
I think of like, the food space right now. Like everyone's
mhm,
common enemy is like seed oils or just
yeah,
like, there's
yeah,
this kind of this movement around like it's
yeah,
good to have like someone there as a common enemy. That's like,
yeah,
that's marketing 101. Like who can
yeah.
you rally against?
Who can you throw stones at? Yeah,
Yeah, who can you throw stones at? And
hmm,
be wise with that. Like we don't
yeah,
want
of
you to like
course.
just pick someone in your market and throw stones at them. But
Right.
whether it's like a fictional character, it just goes back to
Hmm.
like,
It
Jesus
can
and the
even
devil.
be, yeah, it
Like
can even be like
it's
a
just like
concept.
anything, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be a concept, it can be anything. Like,
Hmm.
most people that really stick out have a common enemy they
Hmm.
had and they also have a group of people that like they can rally around as
Right.
well, like that a group of people that agree with them.
Speaking of people rallying and just going
Mhm.
crazy, the Seahawks, the 12th man.
Yeah,
It's like, dude, yeah, that's
yeah,
part of the atmosphere that, was
exactly.
erupting. And I think back to one of the greatest probably Seahawks moment history is the day that
The
Marshawn
Patriots
Lynch.
beat him in the Super Bowl.
No. No, not that, dude. That's horrible.
For
How'd you bring that
context,
up?
Diego lives in Washington and I'm in New England. So,
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that was devastating. But no, there was one day I can't tell you the date, but there was a game, Marshawn Lynch, it's all the Seahawks fans know this one,
mhm,
but he breaks through and he goes all the way to the end zone
mhm.
and just the place freaking erupts and it
Yeah,
causes like a I don't know, 3 point
yeah,
something earthquake
yeah,
because
yeah.
of just the people
Crazy.
raving. So that's the thing. It's like you have your group of people that are rallying, and the
Hmm.
common enemy is like, obviously the opponent in the football scenario,
Hmm.
but everybody joining forces to create this. And it's like you get people in that mindset for whatever it is you battle against.
Hmm.
Each
Yeah,
kind
everyone
of
kind of has
big,
that.
each person that's like at a big scale has it, but you don't have to be at that level either. You can
Yeah.
be a
Democrat,
local,
Republican, like
yeah,
there's always
yeah,
something there.
exactly. There's
Another
always
thing you
a,
said too, you mentioned Marshawn Lynch.
Mhm.
Like Marshawn Lynch, I think about that's another great example of just leaning into uniquely who you are in your marketing. I
Yeah.
also think about too, it's like another great one. I don't know if you're familiar, Ben Johnson, the coach of the
Okay.
Lions,
Yeah,
the
I'm
Detroit
not
Lions. He
familiar.
comes into the first thing he does, he comes in, he's the new head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Hmm.
He's talking about like biting off people's kneecaps. Like that's really showing your personality and like the
Yeah.
hiring interview. Like right away,
Hmm.
he tells people that he's like, yeah, we're here to bite off people's kneecaps. Like we're gonna fight and we're gritty. Like that's the
Yeah.
first impression you get of the coach of
Yeah.
wait, what did I say his name was?
Ben Johnson?
Wait, is Ben Johnson the Bears or the whatever? The Detroit Lions, Campbell. Campbell, I think is the name.
Okay.
But I
Whoa.
also think so too. Like when I see the NFL players when you're watching an NFL game, there's a lot of commercials, and they usually tend to pull not necessarily the most famous player, but they pull the
Hmm.
players with the most personality to them. And I just think
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch is a great example of that. Like just someone
Okay.
who uniquely
Another
leans in.
awesome
There's
example.
that clip of him. I always think of this. Like funny, I probably watch
Skittles?
it like once a month. What is it?
Is like something with Skittles?
Oh, it was two
Or
Skittles, right? Like he just
yeah.
tied
That's one
himself
of
to
the
Skittles.
quirks.
But
Yeah.
I also think too, he's just like he's talking to Richard Sherman on the sideline. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing for Christmas?" He's like, "Christmas. I gotta get to Thanksgiving first. Like I'm bringing out turkeys. I gotta serve my community." And it's
Yeah.
just like I think of that every time, man. It's just like
That's awesome.
what a like light of a person to be around. It's just all because he leans into his
Hmm.
personality and what makes him unique, and just take that and run with it in your own niche, man. So
On top of that, Happy Gilmore. He
yes,
comes
dude.
into the golf scene as this hockey player. He's
Hmm.
there for money. He's got an entirely different, purpose behind why he's playing.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, he's playing, he's whacking balls, hitting them way further than everybody else,
Hmm.
hole in one, and then just beating the crap out of people that standing,
Rob
anybody who says
Barker.
something, yeah, he
Rob
just beating it.
Barker.
And so this guy is making the views of this whole golf tournament thing going on.
Hmm.
The views are up higher than
Hmm.
ever before. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's engaging,
Yes,
that's the
dude.
reason why. And
Exactly.
the whole like the top person there was all telling the girl like, "Hey, you got to go talk to this dude, tell him to settle down. He can't be
Hmm.
doing this."
Yeah.
And then it's like she goes up to him and she's like, or Happy Gilmore was like, "You're telling me I can't be fun?" And
Yeah.
it's like that's the whole point. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what made
So,
that movie so great too.
dude, it's an
I mean, we
amazing
could
movie.
we could probably sit here and come up with so many different examples, but
Yeah.
it's just like if you're gonna do one thing in 2026, lean into what makes you unique. There's so many
Mhm.
different people selling probably similar things to you are. How can you distinguish yourself in that market? How can you lean into what's actually you, what makes you unique, what you do in your free time outside of your business? Lean into
Yeah.
that and you'll see the people come in through the
Yeah.
business. And not only will you see them come in, you're just going to align with who they are as a person. You're going to want to serve them even more because you're so aligned and you're so similar. So that would be like
100%.
kind of my one tip.
And
Um,
that's like the whole thing about this podcast or this
yeah.
episode right now. It's just uniqueness.
Yeah.
Lean into that. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just that's it. And that also, I guess from like a really high level marketing perspective, it's like that unique mechanism.
Hmm.
It's really hard to sell people when you don't have that, totally locked in.
Hmm.
Because people, this is something that I was learning about a little bit more is like you can, especially nowadays with so many experts in the field,
Hmm.
there's everybody considers themselves an expert. At some
Hmm.
point, you can become the mechanism. It's like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, that guy is the solution. But at some
Hmm.
point, there's so many experts in whatever field you're in that there's a lot, in other words, there's a lot of competition that
Hmm.
in the eyes of the consumer, they're like, all right, well, what makes these guys different? Why should I pick you instead of this other dude? And
Hmm.
it's like that's where having this unique
Hmm.
mechanism comes in. And it's like this unique process, the unique thing that gets people from A to B quicker,
Hmm.
easier, with less friction, with less work.
Hmm.
And if you can really clearly articulate that, you're
Hmm.
gonna, 10 times out of 10 be able to pull in everyone
Hmm.
else as opposed to the other person who's just still, yeah, I can help you with this, but they don't have that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I um I want to go. I don't know what we're exactly at for time right now too, but I think we want
Hmm.
to dive into some kind of like nitty gritty stuff too, like is in terms
Hmm.
of like, all right, like what this is all nice, like this is all cool, like relating it to people, but like what's some things we can
Yeah.
implement kind of
Hmm.
now that are going to help us in our emails. Like we're kind of giving you
100%.
the frame of like how you should think about overall marketing, but like,
Yeah.
maybe you're already familiar with that, or like maybe you jotted some notes down during that, but like what are some things I can actually implement, into my email here?
Right now.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to kind of start with that, Diego. I know we have on
Let's go.
here. Yeah, you want to kind of touch on the many chat aspect?
Yeah, yeah. So ManyChat, as we were talking earlier, Gavin, like that's something a lot of businesses are using these days. It's a great
Hmm.
tool.
Hmm.
Comment the word. You guys probably seen this
Yeah.
too. Comment the word pizza, and I'll send you the guide to making the best pizza in the world. All
I
right,
actually have
cool.
a quick note on that.
Okay.
Um, I think I see a lot of times like you want to make the word something that they want to get with the end result of your product. Like I
Mm,
see a lot of times like people are like comment the word um something like emails. Like emails isn't like
mm.
really that encouraging to sign up for.
Yeah,
Like, I think
kind of
it's good to
boring
make
too.
people, I think it's good to make people know like that they're signing up for the emails. You want to set the frame correctly, but like,
Hmm.
just from a little tidbit there, it's just like, how can you create that that's going to spark like a, because it really does start there when they comment the word, like they're starting the sales
Yeah,
process there. So it's just like, how
100%.
can we excite them a little bit more instead of something
Yeah.
a little more standard or vague? So
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, that was good. That all kind of just ties into making it something that stands out too. And you don't want to when it comes to the word email and the
Mhm.
word pepperoni,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, yeah, I guess what I was just saying is there's this tool out there, everyone's using it, and what we were talking about is when people opt in. Sometimes, I guess, are we diving into the email sequence side of things here,
Yeah,
or
I think too, there's just
okay,
like, like what do I do once I have that person in ManyChat? Like I think there's a
yeah,
difference, there's people linking them to with ManyChat, it's either sending them to the link or you're sending them to the email list. I
hmm,
think too, like one thing to preface here is like, two different things here. It's just like,
hmm,
what's the best email sequence I can put that person into after they sign up on ManyChat? And
yeah,
then another, like just the overall email subscribers aspect. Like a lot of people want to go crazy with the mini chat, like, oh,
oh
it's a
yeah,
complete failure if I don't bring in 2,000
mm,
people into my email list with ManyChat. When reality is, if you only brought in 20 people, but you're doing it correctly, you have the right lead magnet in.
yeah,
Again, you're leaning into that uniqueness. You're leaning into the
hmm,
Marshawn Lynch. You have the
hmm,
Marshawn Lynch lead magnet that is like
yeah, beast
super
mode,
unique. And it's
yep,
just like, you know, you only get 20 people to sign up, but half of those people actually end up signing up to your product where it's like with the 2,000 people. Again, this goes back to what we
yeah,
talked to in the first episode, the shiny quarters, the
yeah,
shiny corners versus moldy pennies.
hmm,
And then, yeah, so that kind of covers that. But in terms of like, what's the best email sequence they can have? If
yeah,
I'm thinking somebody's trying to set up ManyChat, what's the best
hmm,
email sequence they could have after somebody comes into to
hmm,
ManyChat?
yeah. So. I guess just to even expand on that a little bit,
Mhm.
it's just about having a full alignment
Mhm.
with your personal end goal with it should be like having the best experience for yourself as well. You're the business owner. You don't
Mhm.
want to be dealing with like people who are, a headache and just maybe returning your
Yeah.
products or just like, not even going to buy in the first place. So yeah, definitely just starting from thinking about what do you really want here in your
Mhm.
business? What are the kind of people you want to attract? And then really making that lead magnet something that embodies that.
Yeah.
So going into now you've delivered that or you've
Mhm.
you've offered that. Um, what do you do after that? So, right?
Mhm.
And you're saying that there's sometimes this kind of uh, what is the word? Just like regular, kind of standard 30-day email sequence
Yeah.
that's
I
kind of
think
already set
like
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we see a lot of like 30-day email sequences. I think if you have a really if you have one of your intended audience like whole character
Mhm.
down, that could be something wise to do and just specifically
Yeah.
send to that group of people. But I
Hmm.
also think too that people are going to really resonate with what's just top of mind for you. Again, this is
Hmm.
like we're going to beat a dead horse here. It's like all goes back to
Yeah.
like what makes you stand out in that market. So if you
Hmm.
can just get them into your email list, write an
Hmm.
email. So if today's Tuesday and tomorrow's
Hmm.
Wednesday, you're going to write an email today for Wednesday. And then you're going to do that
Hmm.
every single day. Like, I think that is
Yeah.
ultimately the best email sequence you can put them in. One that's
Yeah.
top of mind for you, one that sees you, you can translate through to them through the email
Hmm.
list. Like, hey, this is going on in my world. Maybe they're going to relate to that with what's going on in their world. That's the best
Yeah.
email sequence. Like, you don't want to necessarily shove them into, just totally random sequence that lasts 45 days and they're not really getting
Yeah.
anything that's top of mind or relating to the real
I
world.
think the misconception is like, well, people, first of all, they love the idea of set it and forget it.
Hmm.
And yeah, we all want to just do one thing one time and kind of
Hmm.
not have to work on it because of just the nature of us being so lazy. But at
Hmm.
the same time, do you really think that that already set in stone sequence is gonna hit as hard as something that's fresh and new and like
Hmm.
even relating to things that are relevant in the world? Because a
Hmm.
lot of the times that's what you can't do in a
Hmm.
sequence that's 30 day, 30, it's built out for 30 days or even
Hmm.
longer.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the thing is, you're always going to be able to come in with a stronger, and it's going to sound woo woo, but like it's kind of like this energy. It's just
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
you can sense it too when something's
Yeah.
already just like generic and it's built out
Hmm.
to come after another
Yeah.
email, and it's just like you can feel the difference. And that right there is where you're losing on potentially, again, that like longer term,
Hmm.
thinking long term with like a relationship and in the business.
Hmm.
That's you don't want that. You want somebody
Yeah.
to gravitate towards you.
Hmm.
And yeah, best way to do that is just write those in real time. That's the best
Yeah.
email sequence.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think like 30-day sequence, that you're writing prior that you're just going to send out to people on 30-day real time. Like in the
Mhm.
30-day that you just have to set and leave, like you can't relate with anything that's going on in the current world. Like there's just such a
Right.
disadvantagement there. I mean, I don't want to plug our services, but that's where somebody like, it's like in that result too, like if you hire a copywriter in that scenario or that
Hmm.
situation, like you're gonna make the money back anyways because the 30-day emails in real
Yeah.
time is gonna make you 10 times more money than I don't know about 10
Hmm.
times, but significantly more money than if you
Yeah.
just write a 30-day email sequence and set it and leave it. It just leaves
Yeah.
out the personality, the energy of
Hmm.
what's going on in real time, and you don't want to give that away. That's what makes email special in the first place. Uh,
Yeah. 100%.
so yeah. Another thing too here, like we kind of touched about on it in the beginning, but like what is your, like we're email marketers and we have a bunch of different clients and we're always thinking in like different people frames and we're
Hmm.
also thinking in our frame too, right? Like
Yeah.
like I'm thinking of the person, the small business owner who's just like hasn't gotten started with email marketing or just marketing in general because they can't think of a good idea to put
Oh
onto
yeah.
paper. Like how can we, because we do it a little differently, right? Like instead
Right.
of us going to sit down and like schedule out time to come up with an idea and write the marketing for it,
It's just
we
all
have
day.
the idea way before. Like as you
Yeah.
said, as we showed you, like I had that
Hmm.
idea about the ornaments,
Hmm.
what was it, like 3 days now? And then
Hmm.
Diego had the idea since Sunday for about the
Hmm.
Seahawks game. So it's just like we
Thursday.
always
Yeah.
like what is you know, like what does your thing look like, Diego? Like where you just like you come down and you have the idea. Like what does that
Mhm.
look like for you? Like what's the advice you can give to someone a business owner there?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna vary. It's gonna definitely be you got to find what works best for you.
Mhm.
But really, it's just the first question is like, okay, answering what's something that is actually gonna help the
Mhm.
reader, the people you're serving. That's a good place to start.
Mhm.
And then from there to make it engaging, to make it stand out, because again, you're competing against so much crap out
Mhm.
there, AI, emails, we talked about
Mhm.
that,
Yep.
and just a boatload of information. That's where you come and differentiate yourself with, whatever unique story you got or perspective. But I would say it just starts by, I guess the best thing for me is just like having that notes app around, dude. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer to just have that
Mhm.
and jotting down things that come to mind. Because from that, as you guys watching this and listening to this, you can start to see that once you start talking about it,
Mhm.
boom, like your mind will connect another story to this, and it'll remind you of things. And so it's a practice. Um, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
just getting started.
That's where I was gonna go with it.
Yeah,
Like,
just
I
get
think the notes
started, dude.
app. I think
Yeah.
the notes app too, like just writing down, having an idea of how you want to serve your market, how you want to serve your customers. Like
Hmm.
start with that. Really hone in on
Yeah.
that. Like again,
Hmm.
we go back to, you don't know what to do in that scenario. Call your top five customers, ask them how
Yeah.
it's benefited. Get clear on
Hmm.
that. Like ask them about their product. Get really clear on how you want to serve your market
Yeah.
and with your product or whatever. And then two,
Exactly.
it's just like, all right, how can I start generating ideas? How can I start making myself more like Marshawn Lynch? Gonna be it
Yeah.
the whole episode. How can you make
Hmm.
yourself unique? And then it's just in the notes app, like literally just write down, like, hey, this is what I have today. This is what went through me.
Exactly.
Like something like the ornament story, something like the Seahawks story. Like we all have something like so
Hmm.
little that'll stick out to us every single day.
I'll
Um,
even add, I have an idea now.
yeah.
It's you have to also remove yourself from thinking so transactional.
Hmm.
Like I said earlier, we're so lazy. We wish and we
Hmm.
would dream that after sending the send button,
Hmm.
floods of money come in and
Yeah.
everybody's buying your product. But
Hmm.
obviously that's not the reality. And so once you separate yourself from thinking transactional,
Hmm.
you kind of unlock naturally like, all right, let me just share but
Yep.
also in a way that serves my
Hmm.
reader and my customer base or your whatever list you're sending to, your mass email list too. Just start from there and then that eliminating that transactional mindset is going
Hmm.
to help you just just get the flow out.
Hmm.
That's kind of what it comes down to. That's why I can't really come up with anything else because I mean, that's even advice for myself sometimes. Like I'm just stuck on what do I say? But it's like, all right, I already know who I want to write to.
Hmm.
And it depends on the context. When I'm sending, for example, a cold email, I'm not gonna try to be all funny and like do all these
Hmm.
crazy things. I want to get to the point. So it
Yeah.
starts with just remembering what are you doing this for? If it's
Hmm.
for your mass email list, it's not, you can't get to the point in that case. If you do, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot because
Hmm.
of all the reasons already, the competition.
Hmm.
But when you just remind yourself, okay, this is because I want to, yeah, you want to make a sale, but let's push that back a little bit.
Hmm.
Let's focus on growing the relationship. That's going to be crucial for overall long-term just marketing success and, the relationship part of things.
Hmm.
And then it just kind of naturally comes out like that. Like I
Yeah.
think you just start thinking about fun ways to message people and yeah.
Yeah, you have to be customer first. I mean, I think this
Hmm.
is like good advice
Customer
for any
focus.
business owner. It's like
Yeah.
you're not going to make money unless you're putting the customer first or you're not in it to serve the customer. You're not in
Yeah.
it to serve your customer. You have to be coming from that frame. If you're just running a business to make money, you're going to burn out. It's not sustainable long term. You really
Yeah.
have to be in it to serve the customer and that be the fulfillment instead of like the money that you're pulling in from whatever they're paying you. Like it can't
Yeah.
be about the money. You got to act like go
Mhm.
listen to any of these big CEOs. Like they're in it to serve the customer first. You got to put
Yeah.
your customer first. And that all
Yeah.
stems back. Like think about that from an email frame. When you're going to writing emails, when you're going to do any
Hmm.
marketing, how can I help this person today? That's the frame you
Yeah.
need to hold. The money will come, but really,
Yeah.
who cares? Who cares
Yeah.
about the money? It's not fulfilling at the end of the
Yeah.
day. You use it for
Mhm.
specific things in your life. You need it, but you need to put the customer first. That's what's going to give you
Mhm.
the fulfillment, and the money is just going to naturally come from
Yeah.
that aspect. So,
That's a big hurdle for a lot of people for sure. And
mhm,
even at some point, depending on where you're at with your business or the specific situation, it's
mhm.
going to be hard to, let's say you're in a hole, like
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to think that way,
Mhm,
but you're also going to come off like it's going to be more attractive. You're not going to
mhm.
be needy.
Authentic.
Yeah, you're not going to come from this needy frame when
Mhm,
you're just almost, it seems like you're giving.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, I guess we'll tease it for next episode, something I have in mind now.
mhm,
Even from just, an email perspective and an overall marketing to sales,
mhm,
kind of mindset, teachers go and teach and sellers go and sell.
mhm.
So there's a difference in teaching and actually selling
Yeah.
and actually doing that in your emails. And I think, yeah, we can go into that for the next one. I got to bounce here. So yeah,
That's
we
all
can
we
bounce.
got for episode number four.
Four?
Episode number four.
Four? Wait,
Episode number four.
three was like little
Christmas
clips, right?
episode.
Yeah. All right,
Christmas
Christmas
episode.
episode.
All right. Yeah, Diego, let them know if they got comments in the. Oh, also hit a subscribe too. We're doing that.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you enjoyed tuning in. If you took something of value, let us know what that was for you in the comments. Wait, I can't hear you. You gotta.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No,
It's that time. Christmas
can't
time
hear
is
it.
here. Everybody knows there's not a better
Yeah, well, Gavin, you're jamming
time.
out. I can't hear it. I don't think
Hear
the
that
viewers gonna be able to
sleigh.
hear this one.
Santa's on
All
the
right.
Anyways,
way.
If you got
comment
any
down
comments,
below.
let us
Hip, hip,
know.
hooray for
Subscribe.
Christmas.
We actually
Join
got we
there.
missed on a but we're gonna cover. We got a bunch of good episodes for next time
Yeah.
because we got we're gonna be talking about Marvel, how they always leak their movies. We're gonna tie that
Oh,
in with
yeah.
else, how you can implement that. We're also gonna talk about one thing you can implement literally like today, which we'll talk about in the next episode. What to do with your past customers, the group of people that
I've already bought.
are already bought from you but are no longer a client of yours. What can you do with
Mhm.
those people? How can you pull more back in? We're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about advice to a business owner who wants to bring in someone like us. What to look for if it isn't us. What questions
Yep.
you can ask them, how to know if they're an idiot or they actually know what they're talking about. And we'll
100%.
talk a little bit more about AI. We'll talk about how it makes you less like Marshawn Lynch. And that
Less
is
like
gonna be
Marshawn
all
Lynch.
for
And
us
it's gonna
today.
get it's gonna get our blood boiling because we know, AI.
We'll also do the Q&A. Anyone who comments, anyone who has a question, we'll
Always.
put that in.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
have a very Merry Christmas
Comment
with
below.
everyone and your family, and don't focus too much on marketing, but think of a few stories. Think of a few stories.
Yeah. Oh, dude, hundreds of stories
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
All right. That wraps it up. Peace
Peace.
out.
Hip, hip, hooray for Christmas vacation. Got a ton of stuff to celebrate. Now it's getting closer, I can't wait.